Good morning and welcome to the Senate Chamber. Today is Friday, July 21st, 2023, exactly 10:33 in the morning. This morning we are having this session under the SNILD JGO to hear the Shefa nomination of Ms. Florence Calvo to serve on the Shefa board. Um, I hereby now call this meeting to order. And the clerk, can you please call the roll?
Representative Blas Jonathan Atto, Representative Diego V.F. Camacho,
Present.
Representative Vicente C. Camacho,
Present.
Senator Edith E. De Leon Guerrero,
Here.
Representative Marissa R. Flores,
Present.
Senator Karina L. Magofnia, Representative Danita K. Yangtame.
Yangi.
Madam Chair, 5 members are present, 2 members are absent.
Thank you, Clerk. 5 members are present and 2 are absent. May the record reflect that Representative BJ Atto is hereby excused from this session this morning, and also Senator Karina Magofnia is hereby excused. And with 5 members present, we have established enough for quorum under Rule 4, attendance and quorum of our SNIL delegation rules, Section 2. May I hear a motion for the adoption of the agenda this morning? There's a motion to adopt the agenda this morning has been seconded. All those in favor say aye. Nays. This agenda this morning is hereby adopted. Moving on to item number 4. Under public comments, we are now open for anyone to make a comment on the agenda item, which is the nomination for Ms. Florence Calvo to serve on the Shefa board. You may proceed. Please state your name and the office or the entity that you are representing, and if you have a written comment, please hand it over to the Sergeant at Arms for our records as well. Thank you. You may proceed.
Hafaday, Tiro, President Edith, and members of this esteemed body. My name is Ramon B. Camacho, known as RB. I am here in my professional capacity as the mayor of Saipan. Madam President, thank you for providing me the opportunity to speak before you. It is a great pleasure that I introduce Ms. Florence Calvo, our distinguished appointee for the Saipan Higher Education Financial Assistance Program. Ms. Calvo's exceptional qualification, unwavering dedication, and passion for empowering students make her the perfect choice for this vital role. Ms. Calvo brings a wealth of experience and expertise to the table. Her extensive background in education, coupled with her deep understanding of the challenge faced by the students in pursuing a higher education, position her as an exceptional advocate for Saipan aspiring the scholar. Throughout her career, Ms. Calvo has consistently demonstrated a strong commitment in providing access to quality education for all. Ms. Calvo's compassionate nature and genuine concern for the well-being of students are truly inspiring. She recognized that financial assistance is not merely about disbursing funds. It is about nurturing and supporting the aspiration of our youth. Ms. Calvo's constructive approach and her commitment to understand the unique challenge faced by each student will ensure the program provides comprehensive support that goes beyond financial aid. In conclusion, Ms. Calvo's appointment for Shefa is a significant milestone for our community. With her exceptional qualification, passion, commitment, Florence is the ideal candidate. I have no doubt that her guidance and support, along with other board members, will thrive and empower countless students to fulfill their educational dream. Thus, I respectfully ask that you swiftly confirm Ms. Calvo as a board member for the Saipan Higher Education Financial Assistance. Thank you, Janundangkul Nasizus Masi.
Cesar Masi, Mayor Camacho. We will take your public statement and we'll make it part of our committee report. Thank you. Cesar Masi. The public comment section of the agenda is still open. Anybody else would like to make a comment on behalf of the nominee for this morning? None? Okay. Yes, please, go ahead. Come on up. Please state your name and the entity you are representing, and do provide us a copy of your statement. Thank you. You may proceed.
Hafaday Zentito, SNILD JGO Chairwoman Edith De Leon Guerrero, and honorable members of this committee. For the record, my name is Kaylani Babata Demapan, Director of Project PROA at Northern Marianas College and a member of the Board of Directors for the Saipan Higher Education Financial Assistance Program. I'm here to express my support for the nomination of Ms. Florence Calvo to serve on the SHEFA Board of Directors. SHEFA plays a critical role within our Commonwealth, as you know, distributing scholarships and assistance to a multitude of students as they pursue higher education in hopes of them returning home and serving our community. So although I've never worked with Ms. Calvo, I do support her nomination, and Ms. Calvo is a true testament of our scholarship programs, as she has returned home many years ago to give back to our community and to continue her lifelong career in education in order to improve as an educator and invest in the well-being of the CNMI. And so her years of service in education proves that she is dependable, hardworking, and a team player. And so as a current board of directors for SHEFA, we need more leaders like her who are committed, dedicated, and passionate for our people, for our students. And as a board member, I believe having someone of her quality and her character is critical, especially when it comes to making very difficult decisions as a board. And so for these reasons, I strongly urge this August body to confirm Ms. Calvo to serve as a member of the SHEFA Board of Directors, and I look forward to working together to support our students. So thank you, Sizus Maasi Zangiliso, for your leadership and consideration of my testimony.
Thank you very much for your comment. Sergeant at Arms will receive your public statement. Thank you so much. Our public comment section of the agenda is still open. Anybody else that would like to make a comment on behalf of the nominee for SHAFA this morning, you may proceed. Nobody else? Okay, we are officially closing this section of the agenda under public comments this morning. Moving on to item 5, we now would like to invite the nominee, Ms. Florence Calvo, before this body. And before you deliver your public statement, it is standard procedure of this committee that we administer the oath. And if you remain standing and raise your right hand, and the clerk would administer the oath to you this morning. Thank you.
Ms. Florence Calvo, you do solemnly swear under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you shall give in the matter at hand shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, clerk. And Ms. Calvo, welcome. Thank you for your appearance this morning. You may proceed in delivering your statement before this SNILD JGO body.
I'm sorry I
you.
don't have a physical copy. I meant to have it printed, but I will provide one at a later time or email.
Yes,
if
please. You
that's-
can email that to us. You
Okay.
may proceed. Thank you very much.
All right. So, Hafaday, Tirawami, and good morning, Honorable Senora Senate President Edith E. De Leon Guerrero, and Honorable Senor Chairman John Paul Sablan, he's not here, and Honorable Senor Ramon B. Camacho, Mayor of Saipan, and honorable members of the Saipan and Northern Islands legislative delegations. My name is Florence S. Calvo, daughter of Charles and Antoinette Calvo. I am currently a high school teacher at Saipan Southern High School. With my master's degree in education, I was a recipient of the Saipan Higher Education Financial Assistance Scholarship, better known as SHEFA. As a former recipient of this scholarship, a current educator, and a mother, I am honored and humbled to be nominated by our Mayor of Saipan to serve as a member of the SHEFA board. I am grateful for his trust and confidence in me to serve in this very important board. Madam Senate President and Chairman of this committee, I am aware I am more than ready to serve in our SHEFA board with integrity and with the best of my abilities. I pledge to the committee that I would adhere to the mission and purpose of SHEFA as mandated by the Saipan Local Law 13-21 to expand educational opportunities and provide financial assistance to qualified residents of Saipan for the betterment of our citizens in the workforce. Madam President and committee members, as we all know the impending status of the CW workers in the CNMI, with deadlines closing in on us, we must catch up and keep in mind that here in the CNMI, we are still lacking more skills to take over the CW workers. We must accept the reality and face the circumstances as a community and understand that we have not been fast tracking forward in our education and training of our workforce in vocational and trades professions as plumbers, construction workers or construction, engineering, mechanics, electrician, masonry, agriculture, and professionals in the health allied services, nurses, medical assistants, dental assistants, just to name a few. It is my goal, if confirmed as a member of the SHIFA board, to look onto the vocational and trades opportunities and encourage our students to pursue such technical professions for the betterment of the island and residents. Furthermore, I am an advocate of our residents, most especially those of CNMI descent, and those who consider this to be their home, permanent home, to further their education. However, keep in mind it is of great importance to return home and contribute to our betterment. We must try to meet their expectations and provide more opportunities for them so that they don't feel less motivated to return home to the CNMI. Thank you again, Sizus Maasi, con respeto, and Olomai, Madam Senate President and Mr. Chairman, and committee members for your time and the opportunity to appear before you today. Thank you.
Sizus Mase, Ms. Calvo. And before we move into the discussion with the committee for the viewing public, we are live on cable channel 23 and also on our CNMI Legislature's YouTube channel. And similarly, this session is recorded and will be uploaded on the Legislature's Facebook page. And also assisting us this morning is Senate Legal Counsel Antoinette Villagomez, Senate Legislative Assistant Devin Macaranes, IT Assistant Delbert Camacho, and Sergeant at Arms Will Elgin. We now move into item number 6, discussion with the nominee, and it's now open for the members to have a conversation with the nominee. I now recognize Representative Vicente Camacho.
Thank you, Senate President. Ms. Calvo, congratulations on your nomination. I am quite impressed, which is really good.
Thank you.
You brought up something about vocational and technical. We really, really need that. Thank you for bringing that up. I hope that you can push that.
Yes.
No? But congratulations and
Sizus Maasi.
welcome to the Senate chamber. Thank you.
Sizus Maasi.
Are you?
Thank you, Representative Camacho. I now recognize Representative Marisa Flores.
Thank you, Madam Chair, or Madam President. Sorry.
Okay.
Hi, Ms. Calvo.
Hi.
Congratulations on your nomination.
Sizus Maasi.
I was listening very attentively to your speech, and some words struck out to me. And I'm going to make this short because I've taken my notes down. But you mentioned something about integrity. I think for a long time, we as a community have lacked that practice.
Yes.
And really kind of sold ourselves short on that.
Okay.
And for you to mention that is very moving, because as we see the younger generation come up and influence the generations behind us, it's very important that whoever they model such and display that character trait. So thank you so much for mentioning that. You also mentioned about the mission of SHEFA. I believe that any organization without a mission lacks structure. And just like a proa, that's the piece that will help you navigate
Yes.
and how to do the job correctly, especially in your fiduciary responsibility, right? So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's really the piece that's going to guide you and the board of directors to ensuring that the generation behind us is able to compete
Yes.
back in the workforce, whether they go to the mainland or come back, right? But the intent is for them to come back so we can
Yes.
build our workforce.
Yes.
So I love that you are tuned into that. I respect you for that, and thank you again for that. Vocational trades, let's just face it, people learn differently.
Yes.
Some are made for post-secondary education and some are not. We have isolated and stigmatized our community when it comes down to vocational trade.
Yes.
And that is an injustice. The fact that you're actually mentioning the importance of that, again, is very satisfying for me to hear, because now our people don't have to be held in that stigma.
Yes.
And again, I can't express it enough. For a long time, we've done a poor job at elevating the importance of vocational trade.
Yes.
And I think that with you there, that is the silent voice that needs to be now spoken about, right? And thank you so much. Your advocacy work is going to be crucial, right? As you work together with different personalities. But again, with the mission that you guys will see every day that's placed somewhere in your office, you'll be guided to do exceptional work. So I'm glad that as an advocate, you're going to stand on that. And last but not least, you mentioned our people, the community. That is our human capital.
Yes.
Our investment must go back to them no matter what. And how we do that is provide for educational opportunity and access, be it post-secondary or vocational trade.
Yes.
So thank you so much for that. Congratulations on your
Thank you.
nomination, and congratulations
Thank
again.
you.
Great. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Flores. Any other comments from the members? Recognize Representative Janita Yangtimay.
I better start talking because she just took most of my stuff. So I was writing down. Anyways, thank you. Thank you, Chair, and welcome. And thank you for
Thank you, Sal.
accepting the nomination. I too was a teacher, and I used to push my students to, take up the trades. No, because my mom, dad wants me to take the doctor or be a
Mhm.
doctor, a lawyer.
Yes.
I said, oh my gosh, so who's gonna, give us this, provide the services? So I'm glad that you listed them. And I also introduced a bill about apprenticeship
Yes.
with the help of NMC and I think NMTI, or I think it's in some committee somewhere. Okay, so yes, that's
Thank
really
you for
good.
that.
And you are qualified. I don't have anything else to say because you fill up the whole pages here already.
Thank you.
Okay, congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Yangtimay. I recognize Representative Diego Camacho.
Good morning, Ms. Calvo, and thank you for accepting the nomination and your willingness to serve. Just like my colleague over here, I don't have much to comment on other than your work experience and your education. It's quite impressive.
Thank you.
I think you would make a great addition to the board to continue to serve our students and prospective students. So with that, congratulations on your appointment, and look forward to the delegation as a whole on your confirmation.
Thank you
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Camacho. I guess we have a full round now, so it's back to me. I want to say that you have a very impressive resume. I'm actually very excited on the skills section. You have a lot of Google skills, blogging. Perhaps maybe the Shefa organization can do some kind of blogging about the program and much more robust rather than waiting for an annual centric report, right? So that we could hear more about the program and the accomplishments what type of occupations are going back into the community. Um, with respect to you mentioned about the workforce, and as we know today, it's a conversation that has been going on regarding the CW1 touchback provision, the CW1 transition, and trades in the workforce arena. It's considered the other college, right? And what I would like to see more of the promotion of entrepreneurship amongst our people to become self-employed, considering that there's a lot of issues that we are facing right now financially. This is not a conversation of today, but prior conversations of how we as a system all together could work together, and including the education system, to start encouraging our people to become self-employed, to become entrepreneurs so that they could jumpstart their own businesses, right? And that in itself, when we're providing funding on scholarship, whether it's a CNMI scholarship or SHEFA, that we are actually putting the opportunity there, not just to get their degree or credentials, but also to plant that seed of a person that could look at the entire landscape of the Commonwealth, economically speaking, and they could become a certified plumber and open up their own plumbing business, and a carpenter. And I think that's very exciting for us to start looking forward to, and seeing more of our people applying for those kind of businesses, considering that they're getting all the necessary skills already. The touchback provision is a very serious matter. We have a lot of federal projects that are happening now as we speak, but we also know that a lot of the construction companies don't have enough workers to complete the projects, and that pushes us back, and that affects the federal grants management as well, with respect to those that are expiring soon, and will the contractor be able to finish the project for the Commonwealth? That is a very serious matter for us, and I look forward to hopefully that the board, including the CNMI scholarship, to have a much more robust conversation. It's not just a matter of cutting checks every year or every semester of academic year, but really a board that is more conversant with respect to the current issues that is facing the Commonwealth, and so that we as a system can address the matter moving forward with all the other economic sectors that are being affected by the issue. The idea also of financials, where every entity of the government it's always a struggle of trying to find the necessary funding to keep programs supported. I truly believe that, I think as any entity that's receiving general funds, that it's incumbent upon board members also to start exploring the opportunity for trying to generate some sort of revenue with respect to, I'm not sure in your own particular rules and regulations, perhaps. I always pitch this idea for the entities to start looking at, if you have any liquidity in your books right now, that you could possibly be looking at making money off of your money. And so you know how much you spent for scholarships, you know how much you spent for your administrative expenses. But at the end of the day, at the end of the fiscal year, I'm certain that you're not probably fully expended, right? And so that particular money in your account, if it's not restrictive by law, that perhaps the board can start looking into making money on top of your money, just so that you could remain, your program can stay afloat. And this is a kind of conversation that I truly believe that every entity of the government should start talking, just so that it's not just a concern of the central government of trying to find the financial resources to keep all the programs and services going for the central government, but everybody that gets funded by the central government should also play a role in trying to find a way to make money and to generate revenue for their own particular programs as well. And if there's any ideas for the legislature that we could tackle in the form of legislation, it's always appreciated, for us to hear from bodies like you, to make recommendations to the legislature for legislation for revenues. And so I want to pitch that idea to all. In today's generation, a lot of studies have shown that the millennial generation are more of entrepreneurs, right? And so we have that sector in the population of the Commonwealth. And that's the reason why, if you look at your demographics of your scholarship recipients, I'm sure that you will see the numbers of where do you divert these individuals, whether they're here to fuel the pipeline of those that are transitioning out of the workforce, meaning in our workforce of the Commonwealth government, those that are retiring out of the system? Do we have sufficient workers to come in and fuel the pipeline? And also those that are coming out of high school, do we have sufficient numbers to fuel the pipeline? And so it ties into the CW1 transition period as well, and all the dilemmas that we're facing with touchback provision. And before I end my discussion with you, I do want to, I'm not sure whether you had the opportunity to read the centric report of Shefa, the latest one. And I just want to bring to your attention, which I always bring to every nominee that appears before this body. One of the concerns that always will come up from parents regarding the Shefa Board Resolution number 2021-002. Parents are expressing concerns about that. And again, we'll leave it up to the board to decide that if there's any opportunity there for some tweaking or any consideration for other, students to have a greater opportunity to be educated elsewhere. But again, it's a board resolution, and it's something that I just want to bring up to your attention because it does come into the office as a concern from some parents. Additionally, I always bring this up every time. We have an outstanding receivable on the Centric report of $20.6 million on the Shefa report. And I know that I introduced legislation to forgive or erase this particular receivable. I know that, oftentimes when the receivable is sitting on the books for too long, it becomes uncollectible and it's written off. I mean, even the banks write uncollectible receivables off their books. And so it's very alarming that we have reached this point of $20.6 million of uncollected receivables. And I would really like to challenge the board to make a decision on what to do with this particular receivable on their books that continues to show on the Centric report. As a matter of fact, to date, as of 2022, loan collection stands at $567,534.81. And so, as an entity that is running a scholarship program, I think it's only necessary that the board have a much more robust conversation about what are we going to do about the outstanding $20.6 million that is still showing on the books as receivables, and is it really collectible, and what percentage of this receivables is collectible? I think that's the hard question that needs to be asked, and the hard decision that needs to be made, and so that we don't continue to see this moving forward. And that should end my discussion with you. I'm just very excited, again, on your skills side of your resume. I think that's a very exciting part of your resume. I don't have any further questions for the nominee members. None? Wonderful. Okay. We'll take a short recess. Thank you. We are back from a short recess, and right now I would like to recognize Representative Danita Yangtimai to make the proper motion for the Standing Committee report.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Chair, motion to proceed with the Standing Committee report in support of Ms. Calvo's nomination to the Shefa Board. I so move.
There is a motion and has been seconded. All those in favor say aye. Nays, and also let the record reflect that Representative Vijay Atto is in total full support of the nominee as well. Thank you, Representative Yangtimai. Moving on to item number 7 under announcements. Members, any announcements? None? Okay. Fishing derby. Okay, great. Hopefully everybody gets to attend. That's nice. Yes, thank you. All right, may I hear a motion to adjourn this session this morning? There's a motion to adjourn this session this morning, has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Nays, this session is hereby adjourned. Thank you, members.